So guys, next up here is my review on Ultimate Spider-Man number 3. So Ultimate Spider-Man number 3 picks up where it left off, where Miles Morales was hanging from a ceiling with his spider crawling abilities. Now, his friend Genki again comes in and asks him to show him that ability. And of course Miles at first says no, don't want to. But then, of course, Genki pushes him to, and obviously he shows it off. And then, they go back into the state where he's telling Genki, no, I don't want to be a superhero. I don't want to be Spider-Man. I don't want to have these powers. I don't want to be a mutant. And Genki is still trying his best to tell him that it's fate, you got bit by a spider, you're Spider-Man, and you're not a mutant. A mutant is born with their powers. You're like a metahuman or a superhuman, You were given your powers. And of course, Miles still doesn't want to believe that he can be a superhero. He doesn't want to be that because of his father. His father doesn't like them. And, they're still just quarreling, just still talking about that. And then, of course, they said, okay, fine. Let's go talk to your uncle about it if that's where you found the spider. And of course they go check up on his uncle, and for some reason no one's there. They go into the apartment, and everything is just swept clean. Everything is gone. There's no furniture, nothing. His uncle has packed and left, and they don't know why. And then as they're exiting the building, they walk like they see a building on fire. And they of course, Genki says, oh, you can do something. You can save them. Because there's a girl or a woman, over a window and screaming for help. And, of course, Miles is like, no, I don't want to do that. I can't do it. And, Genki's like, no one else can do it but you. Come on, you can do it. And, of course, Miles, takes up the offer. He jumps up over the fire truck and leaps onto the wall and starts climbing up. And he does this in front of everybody. So he doesn't even put on a mask or anything before he goes in. He doesn't cover his identity. So he just goes up there and, saves the woman. She just drops her down and they catch her. And then later on he goes back into the building and he comes out with a little girl in a blanket. And he saved her. And obviously enough, the blanket has a Captain America shield on it, or the Captain America emblem on has the Captain America emblem on the blanket. And after that, they ask him, like, who are you? Oh, God, that's awesome. Who are you? What's your name? And, he runs away. And then one of the firefighters, she was all like, told you Spider-Man was black. And I was like, that's kind of funny. And, so he runs away and Genki goes after him. He finds him in the alleyway, scared to death, saying like, "Oh no, it can't be like this. Why did I do that? I never done that in my life." And Genki's telling him, "Oh, that's cool. You saved them. No one else could have saved them but you." He's like, "No, that's Spider-Man's job." He's like, "But you are Spider-Man. You've got these powers." And he still doesn't want to be Spider-Man. He still does not accept his powers. And he says, "That's Spider-Man's job. Now, between you and me, I'm not Spider-Man, okay? These powers is just between you and me." But that's kind of contradicting. Everybody saw him with those powers. But they don't know who he is. But, tons of people saw him save a little girl and a lady. So, come on. But all in all, moving on. Of course, he moves into his charter school. And, they live in rooms and dorms. And he has another roommate. And as they're at school, they go to sleep, and as Miles is sleeping, he sees Electro from the Ultimate Comic series. You see Electro, and he says, "Time to die, Spider-Man." And then Miles wakes up, and later on, people from the school, or like a teacher or somebody, security comes up and says, "Oh, this is a drill. You have to exit and enter the gymnasium. This always happens when superheroes are on fighting or something like that. We have to exit to the gymnasium." And they go in, and then the principal says, "Word has got out that Spider-Man's been shot." now we finally get a date on what is going on. Because when I first read this, the first issue of Ultimate Comic Spider-Man #1, I thought it was like when Peter Parker died already, that, you know, Miles Morales, is time for him to become Spider-Man. But actually, Miles Morales gets his powers as Peter Parker is still Spider-Man, and now he's about to die in the Death of Spider-Man issue. And he got shot by the Punisher. Now he's going to die soon, so I guess now it leads up to, because Miles hears this story that Peter Parker's been shot, Spider-Man's about to die, and if Spider-Man's about to die, he's the only one left to take up the mantle, which is a good enough reason for Miles to be a superhero. Because at first I thought that, you know, when Genki was explaining to him that you are Spider-Man, I thought he was going to tell him, you know, and then, you know, I thought he was like, oh, well, Spider-Man's dead, you should be Spider-Man now. But I guess Spider-Man was still alive by the time Genki was explaining to him, and as Miles got his powers. But yeah, so I guess it gives him a good reason to be Spider-Man after he hears the death of Spider-Man. And later on, actually, I think he has spider sense, because when he notices Electro, I didn't read the Death of Spider-Man. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't read the Death of Spider-Man. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the series, and I'm sorry if I didn't read it, but I heard they got a bunch of superpower heroes, not metahuman villains out of S.H.I.E.L.D. Custody, and then they, you know, busted out because of Green Goblin, and they were fighting Spider-Man, and I guess Electro was one of them, maybe, and then, you know, I guess Miles Morales has spider sense that he can sense or see a future or something like that, or at least sense danger now. At least you can see some spider sense going on. So yeah, all in all, this is a good issue. Maybe around issue 4 or 5, they will probably put him in a costume after he hears the death of Spider-Man. So far you've seen him doing a heroic deed in issue #3. It's going fairly good. Still really want to see him in a costume, but I'm holding it off till issue 4 or 5. Hopefully he gets into a costume. And actually in issue #4, issue or previous is on top of the issue says, what would Spider-Man do, or what would Peter do, or something like that. So I guess maybe he's going to put on a Spider-Man costume, or he's going to think about, you know, taking up the mantle of Spider-Man. Maybe not put on a costume, but think about becoming Spider-Man. All in all, really good issue. Highly recommend it. Like I said, it's not about the characters. Well, actually, it is about the character, but it's about the story that goes with it. But yeah, highly recommend you guys checking out this issue. And yeah, here we go.